The big news of the day, Antonio Brown released by the New England Patriots after text messages surfaced. Really, here's the backstory for those that might not know. Earlier this week, Sports Illustrated did an article, and they had a second woman who accused Antonio Brown of sexual harassment. She's not looking for money or anything like that. She just told her story. She remained anonymous and told a story of Brown, her doing some work for Brown, painting something in his house, a portrait of him, and him walking up behind her naked with just nothing but a face towel in front of his genitals. And
you're being graphic.
Well, I'm just telling it,
Okay.
What it is. That's not, that's not graphic, right? That's just
okay. Go ahead.
What it is. And so it came out today that after that story surfaced, Antonio Brown sent this woman text messages on a group text. So 3 other guys that one of the guys was a good friend of his, maybe a few of them were. And then one was his lawyer. And on the text messages, he basically, she took it as a threat. He talked about her being super broke and she needs money. And he told one of his boys to start investigating her and sent pictures on the text, sent pictures of her children, which she took as a threat, I think rightly so. Whether he thought he was joking around and just wanted to put a little scare into it to her, but really didn't mean anything. By whatever the case, it should be taken as a threat. And so the Patriots cut him this afternoon. Now, what this means for him, in addition to obviously he's not playing football, Rob, the $10 million that he was going to be guaranteed, right, this year to play for the Patriots, he had already ruined a $30 million guaranteed contract with the Raiders. Then he goes to the Patriots. He gets $10 million guaranteed. And then there was a $20 million deal on the table for him for next year.
We were talking about that just yesterday.
Right. So it was looking like, hey, man, AB, it worked out for him. He got to a better team. He may win a Super Bowl. He's playing with Tom Brady. And he's going to, if he just behaves himself, he'll get his $30 million. And now he doesn't get $9 million of that. And Lee, jump in here. He's going to get what, he's gotten $158,000?
Just his game check, right, Lee?
That's all.
Correct. One game check is only $158,000.
So that's it. So rather than getting $30 million, he is getting $158,000. And who knows if he'll ever earn money playing football again in the future. So, Rob, I got a lot to say about this, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah,
you think the Patriots did the right thing?
I think they had no choice from the standpoint of once he crossed that line, all he had to do was allow his legal people to handle these things, right? If they're false, just let them.
Right.
Let the legal people and the lawyers do that. You got on the field. Everybody saw you can play and what you would be able to do, correct?
Yep.
But he couldn't do it. And I think that now you have to start to look at him as and I'm not a doctor. I don't know him. I haven't met him like that to be able to evaluate him, Chris. But you have to look at this and say there's something deeper here because this just doesn't – nobody does self-inflicts this kind of – you know what I mean?
It is
damage to themselves. This is all self-inflicted. If you just go and play and don't worry about those things, and I think – this is just me. I'm not so sure the Patriots were even going to release him today until they went to that press conference and Bill Belichick stood up there and said, here we go. I'm going to hear this every day. It's going to be about him. And he walked out of the press conference after about, 5 or 6 questions, and he just can't do it anymore. And I think I really believe that they just said, you know what, because this is ongoing.
Well, at that point, though,
ongoing.
Had it come out that they confirmed the threatening text messages were from Antonio Brown. I don't know if it had come out yet.
No, I don't think that was that. I just think that he was there and like, this is not what I want to do for it's a total distraction
that's
every day.
Certainly not what the Patriots do.
Right, but they signed up knowing that this guy has some issues, okay? But then once you get into it and you just realize this is not what we want to do, and already for the guy, it's one thing, okay, the other thing came out, they didn't know about it, they still played him. They could have cut him from that. But you don't know whether it's true or not. You know what I mean? You can't really make a man is innocent until proven guilty. But once he sends texts to somebody who's involved in that, you got to say this guy's judgment and mind isn't right. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's when they realize he can't even stop himself. Here he is in a situation where he got new life, and he still fumbled it away. He still couldn't, Chris, just contain himself. He did
Rob,
what you shouldn't do.
When he went to the Patriots, we said, look, if he messes this up,
right?
Because all he has to do is just play football.
He got on the field finally, right?
That is it. Play football and you will get your $10 million and maybe your full $30 million and maybe more. Because if he had played for them next year and gotten that $20 million, behaved himself, he probably would have got a big contract from somebody, if not the Patriots, down the line.
Because don't forget,
all he had to do is behave. Just be like a normal person.
Right. And not react to everything. Right.
You and I said if he screws this up, then it really is a sign that there seems to be something going on mentally with him. And like you said, we're not doctors. We're not saying
we don't know anything.
We don't know.
Nope.
But just looking at his behavior, I mean, everything is self-inflicted. Everything from now, if you want to give him the benefit of the doubt with the frostbite on his feet, that maybe they didn't tell him to put on the proper stuff. Okay, maybe. Okay, but the helmet, self-inflicted. Going at Mayock the way he did. Not that Mayock is a saint and was necessarily in the right, but come on, you don't need to do that. Self-inflicted. Then this, self-inflicted.
And put the other one to the side, the other case. If you even just put that to the side and this second woman in the story, my thing is just leave it alone. Just
right.
I have no comment. My legal team, my lawyers. Right. All you got to do is say that, and you can move on. You could probably still be playing, go out, have another big day, and then they could deal with that to see, because they already right or that should have been the way he handled it, but he couldn't do it that way.
What I see, Rob, is the creation of a monster. In that this is a guy that got away with so much in Pittsburgh. Facebook Live, got away with it. The situation last year where he walked out on the team in a critical Week 17 game because he got the great deal with Oakland, $30 million guaranteed, got away with it. All the things he did with the Raiders in training camp, lands with the best team in football, defending Super Bowl champions, the top quarterback in the league right now, got away with it. And then, was playing in week 2, like everything, I'll go back, even throwing furniture off your, balcony. And there were reports he almost hit a child. Got away with it. And when you get away with so many different things, you think you're untouchable. He's not the only one. We've seen it with other people. This is one of the extreme examples. You usually see it with guys that they just may act very arrogantly and off the record or away from the cameras, But he's doing it publicly for everybody to see. But that's what I think this is. This is a guy that got away with so many things and that he began thinking, I'm untouchable.
Is this a cry for help, or is this what's going on here?
I don't know if he knows it's a cry for help. Clearly, Rob, and again, you don't have to be a doctor. He needs help.
I totally, Chris, 100%. I don't know what kind of help, but he needs help. And I'm sure he has some friends who are trying to get at him and try to help him out. But sometimes, if you don't want help, you can't get help. You have to want it. It's like when people have to hit rock bottom before that they could go to rehab or something. If it's drug-related, Chris, your friends could tell you, dude, you need help, And until you're really at rock bottom, do you realize, okay, I do need help. So I don't know what it is, but this doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't.
Can you see anybody picking him up?
No, not at this point. The only way would have to be he's exonerated from both of these cases where they find there's just nothing there that we can do. Because here's the other thing that's so weird and how the NFL works. You talk about him sending the things and that she took it as intimidation or a threat. Tyreek Hill, we heard the video, the audio tape.
True.
We heard the phone conversation, Chris. He said, "You better be scared of me," right?
Right.
It was a threat.
That's a good point.
Seriously. And you know what he got?
It was definitely as much of a threat
as what he did. Yeah. And you know what he got? Tyreek Hill got a new no suspension from the NFL and a new deal.
Yep.
Think about it.
Yeah, I mean, you say it all the time. We say it in reference to Colin Kaepernick. This guy took a knee for justice.
Thank you. Go ahead, Chris, please.
And no matter how much even if you're one of these people out there that thinks it's overblown, the killings of black men by police, unarmed black men, it's overblown. Even if you take that view, you want to look at numbers and all that. Colin Kaepernick still, you can't deny he stood up for justice.
That's all he did.
And he stood up for people that couldn't stand up for himself. He had a platform. The world was going to take notice of him, and he stood up for the people that didn't have a voice. And he's out of the league. And you said it, Tyreek Hill, Antonio Brown got another chance. I mean, there is so much.
Greg Hardy was convicted in court, Chris. He was convicted, not accused. He was convicted and was with the Cowboys the next week when they released him with Carolina.
There is so much terrible behavior. And I'm not going to paint all the NFL players with a broad brush.
No.
But there is a lot of terrible behavior that just gets brushed aside in this league. Period. It's shame. It's a shame. It really is a shame. We love them. They're great athletes. But this stuff is way out of control. And it's just sad. But
all right, let's start with Mark in Sacramento. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What you got?
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen? First of all, I need to get a chance to tell you guys happy anniversary this week. So you guys had a great run, and I hope you continue it.
Thank you, Mark.
Brother. We appreciate that.
They had no choice to do the right thing. Once the text came out where there was pictures of the woman's kids, that is an issue.
Right.
I think that was a nuclear explosion right there when you put somebody's kids up there, and we all know what that means.
And you tell your boy investigator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Well, what else could they have done? You know what? And I'm not gloating about it. Like I said, I was a Raider fan. I called you guys and talked about I didn't want him in my locker room, but as a father of 4 and a grandfather of 5 boys, I'm seeing some erratic behavior, and I'm starting to worry. And I agree with Rob. We're not doctors, but we know erratic behavior when we see it.
Yes.
Well, we are seeing it, right? I hope you get some help. You know what? The other kid on the team, before I let you guys go, this is why I root for Josh Gordon. At least he knows his problem. He says, look, I got this issue, man. Listen, I'm trying to beat it. Root for me. I can root for Josh Gordon. This kid keeps blaming everybody else but him, and he doesn't understand. And there's something deeper going on here, and I hope he gets some help if something bad happens.
Good call. Right. But remember, Josh did it in Cleveland, Chris, a number of times before he finally hit rock bottom and then needed help. Do you know what I mean?
He's going to be all right. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, in Cleveland, they kept giving him chances, and he kept doing the same thing, if you remember. So.
Yep. No doubt.
Marty in Kentucky, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Marty?
What's up? How y'all doing this Friday?
Doing
We're great, Marty. How are you?
I'm good, and I was going to say the Patriots did the wrong thing for doing what they did to Brown just by accusations, but after Mark from Sacramento gave me more information than I had, I've changed my mind, and I think they did the right thing. Now, on Antonio Brown's behavior, I truly believe ever since January the 9th, 2016, he's been a different man. That's when the wild card game was with Cincinnati. Watch in slow motion Vontez Burfict lower his helmet and nail Brown right in the front of his head, and that is where the worst part to get a concussion is, the front part of your head. And he absolutely clean knocked him out, and Brown did not play in the next round against the Broncos. He got the concussion, and if you look at Brown's behavior before that date and after that date, you've got to wonder what happened there.
Marty, that's a great point.
That's interesting. That's the first I've heard of that. Is that written somewhere, Marty, or that's just your own?
Yeah.
That's something to look at. I didn't know that. I mean, I remember the hit and all that, him being out, but I never put it together that that's kind of when he started going off the deep end, for lack of a better phrase. That's something to look into, though.
No doubt about it. Hey, Eric, in New Hampshire, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What you got?
How you doing, guys? Just want to run it down real quick. First time, long time. You guys keep it 100.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Happy anniversary. 100% Patriots had to do what they had to do. But the league's got it all wrong. They pick and choose who they want to discipline when. I mean, you guys remember back in the day, Roethlisberger with his sexual assault?
Yes.
Yep. That girl in the bathroom. Yep. I mean, the Giants kicked her for however long that they knew about, but.
And the Giants, right, the Giants, what's his name? Josh Brown with his wife.
Yeah, I mean, they knew about that. But, I mean, the hotel, I mean, they were saying that night, the hotel had to call the NFL to, step in at that point. But anyways, all that, never mind the Tyreek Hill, I mean, last year, accusations of that, what happened with that.
Yep.
But
no, that's true.
Hey.
I mean, and look,
Eric, thanks for the call.
He wasn't charged with anything, but Ezekiel Elliott had his issues.
Exactly. This is
that's what
Chris,
we're saying. Like,
this
it's
is one of
over the place.
This is one of our big complaints about the NFL, Roger Goodell, and the way that it's not consistent. That's all.
No, it's not.
It's not consistent.
And I will just say, it's a tough position when a lot of times they're not charges. You know what I mean?
Well, but that's why
Or
you
the
probably
charges
shouldn't
are-
be in this business.
Right. But there are those that say, look, just leave it to the law. The NFL shouldn't be doing investigations
Right.
or anything. If you're not convicted, then you can play.
And if you're convicted, then obviously you're in handcuffs or in prison and you can't play.
Right.
Right?
Antonio Brown released by the New England Patriots earlier today, and nobody better to talk to about this than our Fox NFL insider, Jay Glazer. Jay, what's happening, man?
What's up?
What's going on, kids? How you doing?
We are great, man. We are great. Look, Jay, when AB went to the Patriots, did you think it would last the whole season, or you is not surprised at all about this?
I'm not surprised. I thought it was going to be hard pressed for it because the way the Patriots are is they don't want to hear a thing about you off the field. Whenever somebody from another team does something, they'll put it up in their own team meeting, but you've got to fall into their way. They don't want to hear it. And they don't care who you are. They've gotten rid of some of the greatest players they've ever had in the history of the franchise, and Randy Moss and Richard Seymour, and Jamie Collins was at the height. They didn't care, and it was hard. It was really hard pressed for me to see AB following by their rules the entire season long. I mean, they've sent guys home. It doesn't matter who you are unless you're Tom Brady. But even Tom Brady, Bill Belichick will go off on him in team meetings, showing everybody if I do it to him, I'll do it to anybody. They have their own set of rules there.
What did you I just got I don't know. I just got the sense that after that press conference, where Bill Belichick just realized this is what it's going to be all the time now. I just cannot do
this. I think it was
this.
before that, though.
Was it? Okay. Jay, give me some insight.
This was on their watch.
Okay.
All the other stuff that happened beforehand, it was before he was with the Patriots.
Okay.
And I know they told him they don't want to hear anything else, cut everything else out, just this is about football over here. And when he didn't do that, and he did this on their watch, and he continued to reach out to an accuser, which you saw last night, which is great work by Robert Klemko, that is suddenly on their watch. And again,
it goes against their rules, what they're looking for.
Can you see another team picking him up?
Not at this point. No, I don't. I think, look, even before this, before he signed with the Patriots, there's 3 teams that were just kind of fishing around on it.
Right.
But the Patriots made the move, and that was before this. So you got to think after this. And even look, when the Pittsburgh Steelers were looking to trade him, they didn't have a lot of takers at all. So, I guess, the view of teams, what they want to deal with was severely tarnished at the end of last year. And then certainly tarnished a lot more after the Raiders fiasco. And now I think it's tarnished to the point of, I don't want to say no return, because it's going to be up to him. And what I mean by that is he's going to have to do a bunch of kind of soul searching and make some personal changes also. But I just can't see right now anybody bringing him in.
I agree with you, Jay. But what happens if the NFL does their investigations or whatever, and they find out there's not enough that we can do anything? Like if they say to teams, like, we really didn't find enough to where we think he should have been suspended by the league or we would do anything, and he's cleared to play. Would that change people's mind on a little bit on why maybe he acted out and maybe there wasn't much to these allegations or enough to warrant a suspension?
It's the whole body of work.
No, I'm asking.
Look,
right.
He left his team last year, right? You saw he left the Raiders this year. It's a lot. It's AB fatigue. It's a lot. Even if they say we're not going to, and by the way, they can't put him on any commissioner exempt list right now because he's not on the team.
Right, I get that.
So even if they say no in this particular case, no. But again, I don't want to get in a hypothetical.
Right.
That's legalities. That's a bad road for us to go down. But regardless, it's the whole body of work. It's teams don't want to deal with. Even if you take this out, he left the Raiders, and the thing with the Raiders and the helmet, his issue was with the league, not the Raiders. The guys in the Raiders are going, why are you leaving us? Like, this is not our fight.
Right.
And you could not play, and that's fine, but you should still be with your team.
Jay, we've had a few people just on our show in the first hour point to the hit back in 2016 when Vontaze Burfict, leveled Antonio Brown and saying, look at his behavior from that point on.
No. Let's not.
Okay.
Let's not blame head injury on this. No, let's not go down that road.
All right.
Let's not go down that road.
I was wondering if that was something people around the league thought, but that's not. Okay.
No.
Jay, do you think there's something else going on as well? And I mean, we're not doctors. We haven't evaluated him.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just look. It's here's. I can tell you this: the Steelers are. I don't know about surprised, but man, they got AB the games on Sundays, but they knew what they were dealing with for a lot of it. But this, I think, even for him, is. Man, I think this is kind of a different level.
Right. That's what I agree with you.
Yep.
This is
But again, I'm not going to sit down here, dude. I'm not going to sit down here and tell you that there's, like you said, I'm not a doctor.
Right.
That'd be irresponsible for me to say that or say head injuries. You got to take responsibility in yourself as a man. You're making these choices. That's it.
We're joined by Fox NFL insider Jay Glazer. You brought up the Steelers. I've heard both sides. I've heard those that have said Tomlin, didn't handle AB in the locker room well because he empowered Ben Roethlisberger to do things that other players couldn't get away with, and that's what made AB start acting out. Then I've heard others say you got to praise Mike Tomlin because he was able to handle AB for all those years and have him playing on Sunday and excelling. Which side do you fall on?
I think Mike Tomlin deserves a Nobel Peace Prize.
Wow.
What he was able to do with that locker room. Oh my gosh, yeah. There's so many different personalities. There's 53 guys in there, but about 107 personalities. So he's done a phenomenal job, like I said, of getting the guy there on Sundays.
No, it's you do look back now and just say it was never this crazy or.
Yeah, we never heard about it.
No, we just didn't.
Look, a lot of it was going on, but we never heard about
it. It is incredible. When you talk about the NFL, this is the other thing Chris and I talked about earlier. The inconsistencies on Jay, the way that they dole out punishment, what is okay, what's not. We saw Tyreek Hill on audio threatening his girlfriend. There's a situation with the young son where the police say we know something went on, we just can't prove what happened. Yet he didn't get suspended by the league. He got a new contract. Is it all over the place? Is that the one thing the NFL needs to do, is be a little bit more consistent? Or
no, I think we're not privy to the investigations. That's the thing. Like, I don't think they're just about letting off a Tyreek Hill without certain information. And I don't think that at all. I can't believe that. So, we're not – you hear so many things when you cover this league.
Right.
On both sides of it. And you don't know which one to believe. You get as much information as you can. But they're in there doing these investigations. So, there's 3 sides to every story. They have all 10 sides of that. So I think it's – look, the Ray Rice thing, it was like people were so upset that they only suspended him 2 games. And when they, threw the book at him, everybody was upset that they threw the book at him. So I think it's inconsistency on all ends.
Well, I think
go ahead, Rob.
I was just going to say, on that case, the only thing that was weird was that the league knew something had happened in that elevator and would hand out a suspension without looking at the video in the elevator. I think that's why.
But they didn't have the video.
But they knew there was a video. It's a casino.
But they didn't have it, and both came in and gave this convincing. I mean, that's insane. We're not in the room.
Right.
Right. So even his wife was like, "No, this is what happened." It's like you have to go off the information you have.
Well, to that point, Jay, what do you think about the notion that some people say, look, the NFL shouldn't even be in this investigative business. Just go with the law. If the guy's not convicted or even at least charged, then he can play. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's the thing. And people think that the NFL's, they're like the Mossad. They're not. They think they have all this money, so they have this, incredible investigative team. And it's just not what it is. They do rely on law enforcement a lot. A lot of times, though, law enforcement don't help them out. It kind of baffles me, but they don't help them out. And as much as they want to try and get things done, they can't force law enforcement to give them certain things.
Yeah, it is an interesting situation. Let me stick with the Patriots about another question. From what you're hearing at this point, obviously, Josh Gordon with his issues in the past. From what you're hearing right now, does it look like everything, at least to this point, is smooth sailing with him, and they feeling good about where he's at?
For right now, it is. Again, Josh has there's addiction issues, so you want to pull for the guy. You want to hope that he's able to beat these every day, and a lot of it is mental health issues, and you got to hope that he can beat it. It's a daily battle, though. It's every single day. You got to wake up and hope that he can beat it.
People talk about the Patriots. Oh, you go to Patriots, everybody's will straighten up and fly right. Every problem child they've brought in hasn't worked out for the Patriots. So it's not about Bill Belichick and cracking the whip and getting everybody to fall in line. Some people have problems, and it doesn't seem like no matter going to the Patriots won't correct that.
If you're dealing with certain things, you got to deal with your own issues. Again, you're your own man. You have to deal with certain things. But they do give you an opportunity to be in this team setting where it is just football. That's all they want to hear from you.
Jay, I've got to ask you this before you go. Defensive coordinator
you asked
today.
Me about everything else, you might as well.
Hey, you know it.
This is off.
We're reporters, Jay. You know that.
You know. You understand.
I'm like, man, you're asking me about guys' drug addiction, mental health.
This is a straight.
Talk about if this happened or that happened. You guys are killing me here.
This is a straight football question. We heard a defensive coordinator today compare. He said the Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, matchup could be. I'll give him that. He said could be Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. He mentioned Ali Frazier, Magic Bird. Are people getting too far ahead of themselves, or are you really others a believer in Lamar?
Oh, I'm a huge believer in both those guys. Lamar was the one guy I said going into the season where everybody's asking, who's your player to watch? And that was the guy when I went around all these training camps, that was the guy that I was sold on. I was so sold on him when I left there. And every team you go to, they try and talk about guys and this and that. But no, this guy, just the way his teammates talked to his coaches, the front office, how he was with his team, like this guy was leading the charge. I was so all in on Lamar Jackson. I've always been bought in Patrick Mahomes because he's different. But look, to say he's third. I mean, let's not put that kind of pressure on these guys. Ali Frazier, are you guys? What are you guys smoking? What's
No, not us. It wasn't us.
What's going on with your mental health, man?
Uh-oh.
That's not us. That was. I can't remember the guy's name. The defensive coordinator who said that. He mentioned all three of those guys.
Look at that. Jay
Those
wants us.
rivalries.
He needs to be drug tested.
Jay wants us to get a cup and pass it around, Chris. Me and you.
Yeah.
Well, look,
Ali
unlike
Frazier, come on now.
unlike Bill Belichick, Jay answered the tough questions.
Yes, he
today,
did.
so we do appreciate it,
Hey,
man.
Jay, thank you, buddy. You know that.
Talk to you guys in 4 months.
Oh man.
All right, man. Later.
Thank you.
All right, your thoughts. It's the odd couple, Chris and Rob. All right, you heard Jay Glazer before. Let's throw it out to you. Should any team give Antonio Brown a chance now and put him on their roster? Rob, I saw on Twitter earlier, people were talking about the Cowboys. And these aren't insiders. These are just regular fans talking about the Cowboys and Jerry Jones should pick him up.
Well,
and-
because Jerry has a history of it. You know what I mean? Of picking up people who have not always
with a
being
checkered path,
Yeah.
as you might say.
right.
I
I'm
don't
not-
even know that they want this heat.
Right. I'm just
What do
saying.
you think? You think they should?
Well, what if in the I'm just and Jay didn't want to do the hypothetical, but just say the NFL interviewed the woman with the first one, Chris, not this thing, and said that we can't do anything. There's nothing not enough credible evidence for us to punish him. Do you see what I'm saying?
Nah, I hear you.
Then
Right.
you would be like, okay, well that wasn't true, or that wasn't enough.
I think that this last thing with the threat, and you brought up Tyreek Hill, and that's a great point.
That's all.
But
I'm not making.
you're bringing her children in. I know you're
No,
not
I'm
making
not-
excuses.
I'm
for it,
not
but,
making
you
an
know,
excuse.
He's bringing her children
I get it,
into
Chris. I get it.
That might be beyond the pale for even these teams that,
Yeah,
let's
but-
just face it, they signing guys like
But
that.
the other one, though, is even though there were no charges or anything, what that police officer said about their son who was injured in their home, boy, that was...
No, right. I mean, even again,
There was something
with
about
situations
that.
like Zeke, the prosecutors were like, look, I mean, they can't charge him.
Right. And we
but
saw
they're
that
not
on
saying
video.
Stuff didn't happen.
Right.
I mean, we don't know, so I'm not saying he did do stuff, but it certainly was not a complete exoneration.
Exactly. All right, let's go to the listeners. Let's start out with Tommy in Kentucky. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Tommy?
Hey, first off, I'd like to say love you guys. I listen to you guys every night on my way into work. I'm
Man.
on my way in right now.
Tommy,
you guys are
Thank
great.
you, my man. We
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Yes, thanks for the support. We appreciate it a lot.
Lifelong Bengals fan. So even though Antonio played for the Steelers, who I hate with a passion,
Mm-hmm.
we haven't won in so long. I still hate Joe Montana to this day.
He threw that game-winning touchdown right in the Super Bowl, right?
I hate Joe Montana. But I just want to win. So I would take him on the Bengals. I would not have a problem with that.
I knew you were heading there. It was clear you were heading there. The problem is y'all got Antonio wouldn't help y'all win.
But you know
You
what?
know what I mean? Like, you guys are so far away that I get it. He's a great player. Nobody denies
But you remember
that.
when Marvin Lewis was there, they had nothing but bad
they've had
guys.
their
They
issues
share with a
right.
lot of players. I mean,
Yep.
it was. Hey, Tommy, thanks for the phone call. Appreciate it. Is this Ty? Ty from Connecticut. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Chris, love you. Parker, I don't know about you.
Nah,
You're
look
still
at-
suffering.
Wait a
man,
minute.
He went to Southwest.
No,
Southern Kentucky.
Wait a minute,
One of
Ty.
your great
I went to
universities.
Southern Connecticut State University in New
Rackham.
Haven. How could you say you don't like me?
Hey, well, we'll circle back if I have time.
All
But
right.
hey, listen, the NFL should never be in the business of punishment.
Yep.
It's too inconsistent. Our laws, state to state, are inconsistent when we prosecute people. So how does the NFL? How does the NFL come with this? Well, I'll tell you why. Because the NFL Players Association agreed to this.
Yes.
This is insane. This is exactly why you don't get involved in prosecutions when you're not part of the actual legal system in the United States. That's number one. Number two is when this individual, if he's found guilty or not found guilty, the damage is already done. Check,
Right.
money, everything is already
already assessed, so he's already punished, and then comes the judicial system and says, hey, we're not going to prosecute this individual. But again, it lies with the Players Association signing their lives away. Anytime you go up against billionaires with lawyers, staff, resources, and you have kids coming out of college, their first 2 years, or the average NFL player's 3 to 4, and you're dealing with that type of mindset, these guys are billionaires. They've been around the block 20 different times in 20 different organizations, and the players don't stand a chance.
Ty,
that's a good call.
Ty, you're 100% right. I was on with Skip back in the First Take days on the other network when the Players Association gave them all the power to be judge, jury, and executioner. And I said that day that was going to be the day that they rule, because you can't give one person all that, and this is what you get. You're right.
You can't. And they made that mistake. And we look at it day to day, week to week, year to year, as far as the inconsistencies. And as fans, producers, people who are inside the industry, our heads explode because we don't know what's going to come out.
Well, Ty, you like me now. We appreciate that.
Good call, Ty. Definitely. I got to believe, Rob, too, the NFL is probably like, man, we would love to not have to do all these investigations. But what it comes down to, I think, Rob, is this: public sentiment. That's really where the NFL is. Ray Rice, there's no video. Nobody really knows what went on.
Yeah,
games.
But things have changed.
Once it goes public, the video, now we got to throw the book at him.
But things have changed. Let's just say this.
No, it's definitely
because Kobe went through a rape trial and played Chris the entire time. The Lakers flew him back and forth to Colorado in a team plane. That would never happen today. Never.
Nah, I mean, we could go down the line with, Jim Brown, great. He got a statue in Cleveland, great, obviously all-time great athlete, but had his issues with women. And, we could go, like you said, it's a different climate, and that's good.
It is.
It should, hopefully cut a lot of that stuff out. But I'm just saying, even looking at Tyreek Hill, remember sentiment initially when it came out, everybody was like, look at what he said to her. Then they start zeroing in on his baby's mama. And she was iffy, and she was, you know what I mean? Like, and sentiment kind of changed, and it was like, well, really, is it? And I think the NFL a lot of times just looks at the way the wind is blowing. And AB's done so many crazy things at this point that now people are like, get him out of the league. And I think they went with that too. But
yep. All right, let's squeeze in a couple more real quick. Max in Georgia, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Max?
Hey, what's up, fellas? I was just wondering, what do y'all think? Was it moral high ground all of a sudden on the Patriots, or was it just, too much attention, too much annoyance in the press conferences too early on AB, given the ownership and everything else? But what I think, AB's got to sit out. He needs some time to himself. He's too hot right now. Any team trying to pick him up, that's just going to be more turmoil, I think. This is the best thing for him. Let him reset. Let him get focused and see what he can do after that.
I agree. He's toxic right now, Max. Thanks. Let's squeeze one more. Greg from Wyoming. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Greg?
What's up, fellas?
How you?
Hey, Rob, man, you got to stop hating on LeBron, man.
We're not talking about LeBron right now. And Greg.
I know.
Greg, wait a minute.
I just wanted to say that to you. But anyway, AB, man, he shouldn't have ever been signed by New England.
All right.
Is that now? Greg sound like a brother to me. Greg, is he there?
He doesn't sound like your.
Is he still there?
Your typical Wyoming resident.
Wait a minute, your brother? You live in Wyoming?
That's right, man. Out here in the sticks.
Wow.
What town?
Where are you from originally? Because you must not be from there. You from somewhere else.
I'm from Colorado originally. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Wyoming. I was thinking the same thing, Rob.
Right. I was like, Wyoming?
Hey, it's the Odd Couple. I'm Chris. He is Rob. And we want to encourage all of you to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That's right. You can listen to us on the radio, and now you can watch us as well. And it's fun.
No question about it. And remember, oh, yeah!